seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. That's what you wanted, huh?
What's a man or a king? Response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, knock grannies from porches. David on the sea, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? Response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
What's a man or a king? Response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, knock grannies from porches. David on the sea, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? Response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
What's a man or a king? Response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, knock grannies from porches. David on the sea, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? Response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
As I fix the overlay, we're going to get back to that. But hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know what it is. I am the king and I'm here to do my thing. And I done told you is the reason why I make these fools bow down and kiss the ring. You thought I wasn't going to go live today, but we have a snowstorm that's showing up over here. So you got King, got the warm little snuggie. Yeah, baby. But I had to go out and get a lot of firewood. We went and got some odds and ends. These supermarkets are packed like you wouldn't believe. So what I got to say is I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to make sure that you have precautions in place just in case you lose electricity. If you happen to lose electricity, bro, don't panic. The best preparation for an emergency is to make sure that you stay one step ahead. Right, so we're not going to be able to cover every base. But let me tell you something. If you happen to have a house, let me tell you something that has helped me and served me during this time. If you lose power, the first thing that you do in your house is you shut off the water. You run down to the lowest exit point of your water, and you open the valves so the water can come out down the drain. The reason why you want to do that, you don't want the water inside the pipes to freeze because burst pipes is a lot of the money, of the bulk of the money that is being made during this period of time of the year in the north. All right, so that's one little safety thing that I could tell you. If you happen to have a fireplace, make sure that you have a lot of firewood. I suggest you get Duralast firewood. It lasts 4 hours long. I'm not being sponsored by them. I'm just telling you what has happened to me. It lasts longer than regular firewood, right? Also, make sure that you huddle together. If you're going to be inside a room, make sure that you have all the windows sealed with, if you have plastics, cover all the windows so you can keep the heat inside the house as much as possible. Try to limit your exposure to the cold air outside. Do the best that you possibly can. Also, for your food, make sure that you have a lot of food that you can eat without having to heat it up, like sandwiches, stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Make sure that you have that stuff there set up. Make sure that you are prepared. Make sure that your phone's in charge and stuff like that. Maybe we might have phone service. Maybe we don't. But remember, they also have emergency locations. So if you do happen to have an emergency, they can actually find you through the location of your phone. With that being said, I want to thank each and every last one of you guys for showing up. I know I'm running late. I know I'm 20 minutes behind, but I am here for you. Just like Xbox was here for us this week with that Xbox Direct. I want to tell you guys, I had some problems with the Direct based upon the delivery of one title, right? If you look at the Direct in all its delivery from the first to the last game, the first game, great delivery, great presentation, great on screen, cool. Next game, same. Game after that, same. Game after that, that's where we have a problem at. And that's for me. Let me change this this topic, because the topic is the topic that you guys did not want to believe me about, but I got you, bro. PlayStation. You know what? No, I'm gonna do it this way. Remember when I told y'all about the prophecy? First, I want to thank each and every last one of you guys for showing up here. Lycos was good. What's good? Legendary. What's good? Gray. What's good? AKW. AKW hit me up. Legendary Yobi. Legendary Yobi. Yo, last night I was out with my sister, my niece, her stepson, her husband, my son, my wife, and we was at the buffet. My sister's husband's son looks just like a young version of Legendary Yobi. And he's as sharp and he's as witty. And I showed him your picture yesterday, so your ears must have been ringing. But I showed him your picture. Remember when I told y'all about the prophecy, right? And guys, it's like, King, how is the prophecy supposed to go? I told you, first thing they had to do was make sure that they put out a PlayStation 5 Pro. Immediately. I knew it was going to be a higher costing system. I knew what they was going to do. It was going to be marginal in scope. It wasn't going to be epic in scope. It was going to be something, it felt like a money grab. It felt like a scam in the beginning for most. Because remember, a lot of the guys was using TCL television. Remember, TCL plays a big part into this whole thing. Now, remember early on Iron Lord's podcast where I would go at TCL and you guys was like, I don't understand it. TCLs make great televisions for me. Cool. They make high-end televisions, but what they really do is sell very low-end televisions. And those televisions are sold in Best Buys, Walmarts, all over the world. Actually, you can find more TCL televisions all over the world, more so than you would find Sony televisions. And the reason why is they targeted a level of a consumer that fit their business model. It's kind of like Lamborghini versus Chevy. Chevy do have high value cars like the Escalade. They do have a Cadillac that's inside their wheelhouse, if you will. But they do have low end cars, right? And you would have like what's a low end Chevy car? Not an Equinox, but stuff like that, low end stuff, right? They do have that, and you would say, okay, they sell a lot more of those low end cars than they do the high end cars, right? Okay, my hate for TCL came in when I was online at a store and at Best Buy, and I'm picking up my stuff from Best Buy. And usually when I go to the salesperson, it's like, yo, let me see the book, or I want to order this television. You can have it delivered to me at this time, because I already did my research on the television. I already saw the television at a display store in CES. I know the television is coming up. I know what day is going to be released, and this is the television that I want. And before they even get it in the store, I order it so it can bypass the store, come straight to my house. So after doing so and getting up some Blu-rays and some stuff like that, it's a guy standing online. He's grabbing some popcorn, some candy, got some movies in his hand. And he goes, oh, wait a second, and grabs one of the TCL televisions that was at the door. And I look, and I know this is classism. I know this is like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And he got like, what was it, like the $200 special? And I'm not, listen, if you are a student, if you are a young come up, there's no reason, unless, I don't know. There's no reason. If I take my hobby very seriously, right? You guys take your hobby very seriously. I see guys get monitors that I would never touch, monitors that's $2,000-$3,000, right? Curved monitors, long screen monitors. Why? Those guys monitors shame me. They would look at my monitor and they would be like, oh, you got an NZXT, how crass, right? They'll shame me. So listen, I've been this way for a long time with televisions, ever since I got my first Sonys. So shame them. And it was an ongoing joke. And then Paris got sponsored by TCL. And it was an ongoing joke between me and Paris. I go to Japan, I see nice television from TCL. I'm like, oh snap, I might have to shut my mouth, right? Now, this ongoing thing with Sony is so cute. A lot of people don't understand my bias against Sony. One, I can give you a little insight on my personality. My personality is I don't really go with what everybody else likes. If you really like everybody like Michael Jordan, and in consensus wise, he's probably the greatest player who ever played the game. Who's that? Hold on. Oh, my man, Mr. Burns was good. Member for 3 months, Soldier S rank. Sony's selling their soul to survive. What's the crack? Facts. Mr. Burns, the stuff that they're doing and the stuff that I'm going to point out today is irrefutable. And the evidence that I got to display to you guys, it's stark in comparison to the many years that Sony did have. And the reason why the TV division means a lot when I'm going to talk about this today is because without the PlayStation, without the Sony television division, the PlayStation 3 would have ended Sony's career. You wouldn't have had a PlayStation 4 and a damn sure wouldn't have got a PlayStation 5. But Project Aries, my man, with the $5 super chat. Quick correction from a comment you made during the Xbox showcase. TCL 2026 models will have Game Pass later this year. Facts, that's what's up. I appreciate that. And what makes it even more egregious is Sony will be owned by, Sony televisions will be owned by TCL, and they will have Game Pass on it. So, in de facto, Phil kinda is right? Wherever Game Pass is, you will see Game Pass games, Xbox games. But getting back to all this stuff, Sony themselves, back in the days, that brand was made up of a ton of electronics. And that window is closing, it's shrinking so bad because you had Walkman, you had Discman, you had so many different innovations. Sony with movies, everything, Sony. And I'm not a huge, like I told you, I don't follow who's the best. Like Michael Jordan is considered the best. I'm a Scottie Pippen fan. Oh, we all know how that goes in his personal life, but I'm talking about on the court. They never won without each other. And I always felt that, there was not enough credit given to other things. PlayStation isn't the same people, per se. Right? And of course, you're going to say, yeah, CEOs change, philosophies change. Yeah. Of course. Same thing with Xbox. Xbox ain't the same. See, the problem is, hey, babe, I want some water. Can I have some water, please? Yeah. So, Xbox is insane. The bigger question is, a lot of people don't ask me about Xbox. They always want to hear about my opinion on Sony. They never ask me about Xbox. So if you only hear one side of the story, you never hear the both sides, right? And of course, you're going to get what you're going to get. So it's ironic that this little thing happens. Now, a lot of y'all is going to tell me, well, they're not giving control over to TCL. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. A lot of you would tell me, no, Sony still, owns everything. Okay. We're going to talk about the articles that we can actually see. We're going to go to the articles on CE Pro. Thank you so much, babe. Sony is handing control of his TV business over to TCL. Sony is handing control of its TV and audio business to TCL as major TV manufacturers jockey for a share on an increased competitive market. Now, the market in televisions is very competitive. If you come out with a television to some of the populace that is eye candy catching as far as 4K, if it checks the boxes, Teddy P with the $2 super chat, PlayStation still has no games and ponies are begging. Facts, but we're going to get into the show in a second, but the bigger thing is the news. See, I'm going to give you the news how the news broke. The news broke in this manner, and I'm going to give you the news how the news broke. The news broke with TCL first, and we're not going to overlook this because a lot of these PlayStation dudes try to that's the Sony business model. That's Sony. That's not PlayStation. But any other time, they want to talk about how Sony relies on PlayStation. But there was a case where PlayStation relied on Sony. And we're not going to bypass that because that safety net is no longer there. So I predict with the whole TCL thing that you're going to have watered down Sony television because, and they're going to do the Bravia tech and they're going to share their tech. Listen, TCL, Chinese television maker, they're going to get a lot of this stuff, man. They're going to get a lot of this stuff. Sony Bravia televisions sell $2-3 grand and better, right? That's a detailed plan that you have to have with your significant other, or if it's yourself, you have to sit down and budget for it. Or if you're rocking and rolling like that, well, you have to figure out the upgrade path to your television and the sale of the previous television because then you're playing in that arena, right? That's a blood sport when it comes to televisions because now you have diminishing returns on television. So what you're doing is going for tech, processing power, and all this other stuff when you get to the higher levels, when you get to having somebody come to your house and professionally calibrate your televisions. Those are Sony's. I'm not taking that away from them. I'm not telling you that the excellence in Sony Bravia televisions aren't there. But you can't tell me that TCL is known for television excellence. That's not it. So if one is selling at rocket rates across the world based upon being affordable, being economic, being available, and one is selling at the rate of a Lamborghini, you got those high rollers that come in that buy. Well, then that Lamborghini dealer, if they don't have other interests that's selling, and right now Sony doesn't, well, then you're going to start doing something strange for some change. I.e. the Netflix deal. Remember the Netflix deal. Remember the $8 billion that gives over total control of all digital distribution of all movies by the end of 2030. 2030 means a lot. 2030 means a lot. If y'all can look at the title, 2030 means a lot. Who's the guy that's been telling y'all that PlayStation wasn't coming out no time soon? PlayStation 6 wasn't coming out no time soon. They was going to get a different strategy because they're not in the business of selling a $1,000 machine. And by the time they do come out, they're just going to scrap it, have a handheld that links up to the television. Hashtag no PlayStation 6 happens, and we're at where we're at. But you didn't want to listen to me. You didn't want to listen to King. You didn't want to listen to Mr. 98% right all the time. I told you at some point in time they was going to sell a portion of their business to Netflix. Check that box. I didn't know that the TV business was going to be controlled by one of their arch enemies, TCL, the butt of my jokes. So if you got one cheek, which is TCL, and you got the other cheek that's Sony, and you got PlayStation that's the butthole in the middle, well, the king has made an ass out of you PlayStation fans. And they've done it to themselves. You see, I'm a different kind of beast. I told you I was going to do this to you. I told you within this generation, I was going to watch you crumble, watch you fold, watch you break, and watch you disappear. And you said, nope, that's Xbox. I said, you got to show me how. Now, I'm not going to tell you that what Xbox did to get out of the bind that they were in, they looking different. Of course. Ain't nobody going to walk away from this battle unscathed. This battle going to make everybody look a little different at the end of this. I.e., we don't know where Sony lies when it comes to everything. Like, if you think about it, right? And I've been thinking about this long and hard. Pause. Everybody keeps telling me that Apple is the one that will buy the PlayStation identity. Because if Sony does go for a free fall and they start selling off portions of their business, and don't tell me that they didn't, because they just did. Don't tell me that they didn't, because they just did. Don't tell me that it's far-fetched. Because it isn't. Is it far-fetched? Is selling off portions of their business far-fetched? If you just sold distribution rights to all your digital identity to Netflix, that's not far-fetched, right? If you just sold what a lot of you guys know them for, TVs, you sold the largest stake, the controlling stake, over to TCL, you sold a part of your company, right? What's the next thing they have? Because, like, nobody's going to the movie theater, so nobody's trying to buy any rights for the movie theaters. Netflix wanted digital distribution. That's what they wanted. They want control over your soul. They got it. So if TVs is your body, well, PlayStation is your heart. Who are you going to sell that to? Who's going to control that? Is that Apple? Does Apple want to get into gaming that much? Is it Amazon? Does Amazon want to get into gaming that much? Or is it Netflix with the transmedia? You see, y'all didn't want to believe me when I told you this. But I told you I'm 98% right all the time. It's got to be a time when you guys got to say, man, damn it, this dude, I got to give him his due. Like, I got to give him his due because this dude he's too on point. He's too spot on. Like, where is he pulling this from? Like, how is this guy doing this? Is he a time traveler? Like, how is this happening? How? Because they said the PlayStation was supposed to come out in 2027. Nah, King. There is an active research and development right now. They're manufacturing it, King. They already made a deal with AMD, King. PlayStation 6 is likely delayed according to the new Japanese industry report. Industry report claims that Sony is likely to delay the PlayStation release date. If that's true, the PlayStation 5 life cycle would extend past 7 years. The new report out of Japan claims the PlayStation 6 release date will be delayed. The PlayStation 6 might not launch for years now. Now all of a sudden, you guys are, yeah, man, that PlayStation 6 don't need to come out no time soon, man. We just started with the PlayStation 5. But you clown Xbox guys for saying that, oh yeah, we put games on PlayStation in order to survive. But you're doing this in order to survive? Here's the key points. The gaming divisions continue to be strong third quarter. Sony's third quarter results are expected to beat market expectations, driven by sales of both in-house and third-party games. It's not driven by in-house games. This generation, PlayStation 5 games has sold less than PlayStation 4 games, and even far less than PlayStation 3 games or PlayStation 2 games, and let's get into PlayStation 1 games. Based on sales projections only given to inflation, the PlayStation games selling at the rate that they're selling, at the price that they're selling, is coming in below what the previous generations have done. When a lot of their titles aren't cracking that, what is it, 7, 8 million? Remember when they used to come out and say that? That's reserved for third-party titles now. There's underhanded deals that they do. It's not reserved for them. The sensor demand remains strong. Demand for smartphone sensors remains strong in the third quarter. The weak yen supported sales and profits. As the music growth slows, TV improves. The strong performance of the music division in the second quarter will not repeat on the third quarter. TV and electronics performance is expected to beat expectations. If it's expected to beat expectations, why did you sell? Because you realize that your TV is faltering. In this competitive, high-stakes era of televisions where you can't bring your price below margin in order to make a profit, you must sell off that part of your division as a controlling stake to a competitor. That doesn't sound like health to me. Actually, that sounds like absolute weakness. You don't do things in a moment of strength that weakens you. That's idiotic and irresponsible. The reason why Xbox is putting games on PlayStation is because they weren't selling as much. If they were, they wouldn't. So don't say, oh, this works good for them, but don't work good for them. No. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to attack the issue, same energy. You going to have that energy. I'm going to have that energy. You going to get that smoke. And if you feel like you got smoke for me, well, I'm here for it. Because I told you 2030 before. I just told you the world is going to be in a different position and it's not going to have space for them. PlayStation life cycle extended. PlayStation expects the PlayStation 5 life cycle to be extended, and the PlayStation 6 release is likely delayed longer than many expected, which it going over to, now it's RAM issues, and it's this and that. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to tell you that the RAM issues don't play a part in all of them. RAM issues plays a large part in everything. But what I can tell you more so than the RAM issues is PlayStation is not in the business of selling you $1,000 console. They are not. They understand that. They understand that there's a margin in which console gamers are expected to pay for a console. They seen this margin stretch when it came to the PlayStation 4. Remember how many people still on PlayStation 4 before they jumped to the PlayStation 5 based on the fact that maybe they didn't see anything out of whack that they couldn't play on the PlayStation 4, because remember, it was like overlap between generations. But also, they were waiting for a price reduction. This is the first generation where the prices went up after launch. So if you're taking that in effect, with the shortage of RAM and all this other stuff, you're looking at $1,000 machine for off the rip, because there's no way that you're going to sell a machine that is more powerful than your Pro at a cheaper price than your Pro. If you have that thought process, you're idiotic. That's just not how things work. And the reason why it won't work like that, because in your marketing, you can't market the brand new shiny thing at a cheaper price than your existing thing, because it weakens your marketability of brand new shiny thing. So you must have brand new shiny thing at equal or greater value of existing thing. And don't tell me that they're going to reduce the price on existing thing, which is the PlayStation 5 Pro, because they won't. They just turn right back around and raise the price again. Remember, like Black Friday? Remember months before they raised the price? Boom. Then Black Friday came. They lowered the price to make you think there was some type of discount where it actually was no discount. And then they put the price back to the raised price. Understand, they're in a position where this RAM shortage hurts them more than any one of the three. Them more. They're doing strange things that are making us feel like, damn, this could be the end. King could be right. Remember when I was telling people, hey, go buy a Pro. I told you, go buy a Pro. I said, that's your last console. And you guys was like, nah, they're making a PlayStation 6. It's coming. It's going to be there. Are you standing on that? Because this guy is still standing on hashtag no PlayStation 6. We're going to run it up on these bums. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. Remember when y'all said, why does he keep calling PlayStation Kong? Remember? Y'all said, why does King keep calling PlayStation Kong? Let me show you why. Let me show you. Hold on. Is it this one? Yeah. Yeah. Quiet. Let me show you why. Well, all right. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why I call Sony Kong. One of the main reasons why. Hollywood rules with the $2 super chat. King, I salute the general supporting my guy. Blessings. There's a reason why, because you're going to tell me that Xbox is American, Kong is American, and Godzilla is Japanese. And it doesn't make any sense because Sony is Japanese. Stop being so literal, idiot. In every movie, everybody galvanizes behind Kong to get Kong to be the unstoppable force. The media always supports Sony. Stores, third parties, support Sony. They gotta help him out. They gotta help Kong. Remember, they gave Kong that little metal hand. They even came and changed the tooth in his mouth. God forbid Godzilla got a tooth loose in his goddamn head. Ain't nobody coming. Godzilla got to save his $4 trillion ass by himself. But this is the reason why. And you got to understand why. This is it.
You see, bigger is actually better. Experience it all on Bravia TVs.
So, if they call themselves Kong, if they identify with Kong, and I cast them as Kong, and I tell you I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation, hashtag no PlayStation 6, well then y'all never did your math. And you didn't understand that I did. It's always been this way. It's just that you're not a fan like you think you are. And I am. I had this one dude on Twitter, King, whatever and let me tell you. Oh, legendary Intel with the $5 super chat, hashtag no PlayStation 6. If there's a raffle, I pick 38. I got you, bro. Can't be a raffle today because I started the show late. And I got everything there. But we're going to do it. Members, I do apologize. The snowstorm, there's some other stuff that was going on family-wise. So I got to give a shout out to my pops and his wife. Michelle. I'm so happy everything is fine. It was like a little bit of a scare this week on some stuff. So listen, guys, make sure that you look after the people that are older than you, that's in your family, the elderly. I can't say the elderly because looking at them, man, I'm like, man, I can't wait to be your age and be as lively as you guys are. So just your wisdoms, man, because, just look after your wisdoms. Look in on your wisdoms. Make sure that they're right, because that's our job. Our job as the children is to look after our wisdoms. All right. Oh, that sneaky out with the $5 super chat was waiting for this video. I'm like, this is crazy bastard. Might actually be a writer. About the big one. Hashtag no PlayStation 6, 98%. Facts. You know what's funny? I get a lot of smoke, but let me get back to the king dude, the king thingy thing. A lot of times these dudes, they bot their channels. Right? And very early on in the YouTube, if you was there early on, and I'm going to tell you how you can check and see if somebody was botting their channels, right? I'm going to tell you. Legendary Intel with the $2 super chat, all good, King, hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know I got you, bro. Don't worry about that. One thing about me, I stick to my word. Whatever it is, I'm going to stick to my word. I'm a man of my word. So, I put up the video about, the TVs. And, this guy calls me out of my name, you bastard, you this and you that. And I'm like, wow. And then, I said, oh, well, I thought it was somebody who's talking. I said, I've never heard of you or nobody. Anyway, keep it moving. So he puts up his YouTube plaque. Whenever you get endorsed by companies, then let me know. I said, oh, he must not know me. Everything I got is endorsed, dummy. But since you want to go there, since that was your go-to, I did a little bit of investigation on your channel. I looked at some stuff. And I saw early growth on your channel was very early on when botting was a thing. Now, if you can get 600,000 now, you on one. I mean, your shorts is lit sometimes. But for the most part, your videos is at like 300 views, 200 views. So, if you're talking about little old me, who don't have 10,000 subs yet, but I can get an average of 2,000 to 3,000 views, and on a good day I can get 5,000 to 6,000 views on my video. That's more than 50% of my base, my subs. If you got 600,000 and you're only getting 230 something views, well, then, my man, you's a fraud. So I was like, I know you ain't bragging about botting. I know that ain't the thing. I know we ain't gonna do that. I said, hashtag, why don't you, instead of no life in games, how about you comb your hair? And I know you can say that joke to me. You can be like, yo, King, how about you comb your hair? I did go to the barbershop. But enough about nobodies. Let's get back to the math. Like, the thing is, a lot of dudes get mad that I talk about PlayStation. And it sucks. I know, man. Listen, it's a popular thing. A lot of dudes love PlayStation, and I'm going against the grain. I told you. If I don't go with what's popular, and I'm fighting like the Dickens for Xbox. Because you know what Xbox does that y'all don't do? Make games. Speaking of Xbox making games, I gotta tell you, man, my people was out there busting ass and taking names, man. That Xbox Developer Direct, I gave it an 8 initially, but I had to walk that back, man. I had to bump it up one more notch after I saw it in 4K, after I watched a little bit more of Fable and took away my initial disappointment in some areas. Not saying I was disappointed with the game. I was disappointed with some things and presentation. I will get into that. But you can't tell me that Forza Horizon 6 didn't look like the bee's knees. You can't tell me that it didn't look like, oh, they're back, baby. You can't tell me that that ray tracing wasn't ray tracing. Now, I'm not Digital Foundry. I'm just King. But I saw reflections and shit. You saw the nighttime driving? You saw the cherry blossoms? You saw the doom buggies? What I saw a game that I knew that was going to come to party. See, ain't no party like a Forza Horizon party. Hollywood Rules, the $5 super chat. You and your fam stay safe in the storm. You too, bro, because you in the States. You here. You too, stay safe, bro. On God and them, bro. It's crazy. We're facing a hell of a storm that's coming, man. So if we don't have power tomorrow, it's what it is. But all right, so Killing. The one game that I could say that I was just like, I don't know. But then when I thought about it, I was like, yo, we can all just be wild out crazy and stuff like that. And they start putting butt stickers and stuff like that on it. Tim Schafer and Double Fine, they presented well, right? What you want to do is have confidence in your product. You want to present well. You want to show as much as your product. You want to give a diverse opinion about your product by all the people that were involved in it to give you a better idea of how fun this can be. What are you doing, mama? Stay out of there. You want to do that. You want that to be a thing. Go that side. You want that to be a thing. And they did that. They did that in spades. And I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's not for everybody. Is it a good party game? It should be dope. I hope it does come out for Nintendo Switch too. I hope it does. But Beast of Reincarnation, that one, it seems like somebody put a comment, because I read all my videos. I read them all. Somebody put a comment up and told me, and I got to get ready to bounce out of here because Iron Lords, we got to do a recording. Let me let them know. I'm coming right now. Okay, Cog is running like 10 minutes late. Links will be out soon. He doesn't have it out yet. All right, good. I could keep bouncing. Because we're doing the Insider Gamer app. We're doing that now. So we record on Saturdays for that, and you guys get that, I think, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays after it's up and edited. Beast of Reincarnation is, I think Game Freak has something to prove. Somebody put that inside one of my chests, so I don't want to steal your stuff. I know them for Pokemon. But this thing went all out. You got companion, you got sneak, you got turn base, you got skill trees, Souls-like, you got graphics. The first time I saw it, the frame rate was kind of iffy. This one kind of cleared some stuff up. Do see a little bit of frame rate stuff, but that's at the end that they clear that up. So, but the way that Game Freak showed it off, they showed it off. They showed different suits. They showed everything. They showed different protagonists or different NPCs that's in the world that's going to teach you stuff. So I walked away with that thinking like, damn, they got another Game of the Year contender, because the last year it was Expedition 33. And then along came a spider. Fable. For some reason, they kept, like, you know how when girls was playing double dutch back in the days, and they keep doing this, they kept pump faking, kept doing this. And I'm like, yo, man, show the goddamn game, because I can see the game in the background, but that frame rate ain't looking good. And then they started showing it, then they'll stop, and then they'll show it, then they'll stop, and then they'll show it. I had to go put together video showing pre-alpha, and I found out what I was upset with. First of all, I didn't like the presentation of how they did it, because they did some stuff that I like. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be harsh where I need to be harsh, but I noticed this. The field of view is wider. It's probably at 120 in the latest build, right? The pre-alpha build showed you a field of view of probably 90. Meant the characters was closer up, the polygons was larger, the world looked a little bit more drawn in, it gave you more of a cinematic feel. This one felt more like a Fable game. Not saying that's a bad thing, but then the initial impression that you gave me is that you were going for a more cinematic feel, but pushing the field of vision, the field of view back to like 120 gives you a greater, broader sense of it. Maybe there was some fighting scenes that did it. Now, at first I didn't see the lock on, then I went back and I watched it and I saw a lock on to it. All right, so we got that part. But all the other stuff that they have for it, they checked all the boxes when it came for it. So really, for me, it felt kind of like they weren't confident in showing it. And I can understand in a state that you felt that they may have needed more, but they wanted us to know that this thing is alive and kicking, and it does have a lot of the boxes checked off. And if you're a Fable fan, you should be into it. Now, it was a couple of things that they need to fix besides the jittery frame rate that dropped below 30. AKW with the 5-pound Super Jet King. I just watched the direct in 4K on my OLED, and the Forza 6 is lit on everything. I'm telling you now, I saw it and I was like, oh my God. Even the Fable, even the Beast, everything, even killing, that looked crazy. What is the things that I didn't like was the walk on the male protagonist. The male protagonist's gait in his walk was feminine. Now, I know it could be placeholder walks, and I had a couple of people hit me up on that. Okay. You don't have to be a bow-legged dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Let my balls hang. You don't got to be that. But I'm just saying, that was kind of what was the gist of certain stuff. I thought the combat was more Witcher-like, as long with the magic, look a little bit more Witcher-like. I just wanted to see more aspect of the combat, a little bit tighter. That's about it. But again, is it a game that can actually go for Game of the Year? Well, being launched on PlayStation, yeah. Because you see the conversation behind it, and I'm going to tell you about the conversation behind it. Web Dave, my man, with the $2 super chat. Pony's envious of Xbox future. Facts. Sony has nothing. On God and them. That's my dude. Web Dave is, being on the show was great. Meeting him in person was a pleasure. Pleasure was, all mine. Like, he's a definite gentleman. 100%. He's a dope guy. And I swear to God, y'all better be watching this channel. But, the things that I got problems with, they will fix. it's not so much stuff, right? It's not so much stuff. But Xbox showed you 4 games this year, and the month is almost over. You're not going to get a direct from PlayStation. You're not going to get a direct from Nintendo. And they're going to probably wait until February to come out with their conversational pieces. Because the conversation around Xbox right now is Xbox is feeding the needy. With games that we know that are coming out with like Clockwork Revolution, the dev talks, choice and consequence in this upcoming steampunk RPG. Now, I was going to have time to go into that, but Cog just text, and I won't have the opportunity to go deeper into that title based upon the limitations that were presented upon me due to the storm that is inbound. What I'm going to tell you, Xbox dudes, is you never give up. You never bend, you never fold, you never break. You look those PlayStation dudes in the eyes because you know goddamn well they begging for each and every last one of your games. And when they tell you, we don't care for Xbox games and we don't ask for them, well, 5 million of you dudes showed up, showed out, and showed off for Forza Horizon 5 to the tune of 300 million plus. So don't tell us that you don't want what Xbox has to offer, because you took a 7-year-old game and got your ass dusty with it. You know y'all mad that Forza ain't launching on y'all day one. You know that. You gotta wait till later. Like you should. Like you should. Like you should wait. You're so entitled. Petulant little children. Feeling like we need to have no. You exploit it. Now let me tell you something. A lot of times people tell you, oh, they didn't develop the game, they didn't have to do that, and you just giving us a free 30%. Let me tell you something about that 20 and 30%. Let me tell you about that, because obviously you're stupid. Marketing and building up a fan base and a distribution pipeline and an infrastructure takes millions and billions of dollars. Making PlayStations, distributing them, selling them, marketing them across the world, getting a fan base all lathered up to get a PlayStation, that takes billions of dollars. And you're handing over 70% to 80% to Xbox for using your infrastructure. And they're giving you 30% to 20% back. If you don't realize what real money is and what real math is and how it really works in the world, then you will forever be a Uber driver. You will forever be a worker. You will forever be a pie flipper, because you didn't wrap your head around your time means more than anything else. Let them go work it. I realized it. The old way was not working. They stepped back from the old way. You thought they wasn't winning. They wasn't beating them. They ain't beat them yet. They ain't going to beat them later. So what they did, they used their best asset against them. Give them what they don't have. Exploit them for what they do have. And use them as the vehicle that they say they are. They're a third-party casual machine that loves Xbox games. Exploit their ass. You don't want to buy an Xbox? That's cool. Buy this game. Make more money off of selling the games anyways. They don't make no money off of selling the consoles. The argument has always been nobody wants Xbox games. No, you just didn't want an Xbox. You want the hell out of those games. And it's proven right. The same way I've been proven right with your PlayStation 6 not coming out to 2030. The same way I've been proven right with y'all was going to sell off pieces of yourself. Before this is all said and done, hashtag no PlayStation 6 is still alive and kicking. There's a reason why I'm the prophet. There's a reason why I'm the Swami. But I will keep continuing to keep this boot on your neck like no other. I will continue to be bold. I will continue to be brash. I will continue to be loud. I will continue to hold the line. Now, I know you guys don't like that. Like, King, I hate when you say that. I hate when you hold the line. It ain't no line. The line has been breached. There's no red lines. Yeah, there's no red lines for you because you're selling everything. Every day for you is a garage sale. What's next? Yo, panties? Well, peace and blessings. I want to say thank you guys for showing up. Man, it's a wonderful day. I can't wait to snuggle up and watch a movie with my wife. We got some popcorn. We're going to have the popcorn machine. We're going to have the fireplace going. And we're going to watch the snowfall as I sprinkle the salt outside to make sure people don't kill themselves as they walk past the house. But I want to thank each and every last one of you guys. Now, make sure y'all go to the Insider Gaming app and get Lords After Dark, where right now we're going to be talking about a hot topic. And it's kind of different. It's a different flow, a different feel. It's not like Iron Lords podcast, where, you know, a lot of times I'm out there just being annoying. But I do appreciate each and every last one of you guys for showing up here. I like you guys for keeping it classy, as always. Listen, be safe. Stay in touch. And if we're around, we can get down. We can play some Ark Raiders. Can't wait. And listen, I don't want Marathon to fail. Actually, it looks a whole lot better. But get back to that best intro in the game. Let's get it.
What's a man to a king? What's it saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game, but shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox. Spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talking, no riddling. Moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the sea, you know that it's scorching. What's a man to a king? What's it saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game, but shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say, what you running from? What you running from? I'm with
THX 1138 with the $2 super chat. Stay warm, King. It's -4 here in Queens playing Xbox. Angry Therapist MD with the 5 Xbox membership front lines. I salute you, soldier, and I